welcome back. Thank you so much for tuning in today. A quick update on central bank digital currencies. Quite surprising, to be honest with you, news from Swiss National Bank, the Central Bank of Switzerland. Those of you who have been following the development of CBDCs with me will be surprised, I believe. I know I was, especially given the fact that the Bank for International Settlements, an entity that effectively coordinates CBDC development across the world, is located in Switzerland. So it is quite interesting to see this growing divide between the BIS and a central bank that is located in Europe. So on April the 8th, Thomas Jordan, the chairman of Swiss National Bank, said that the risks of a central bank digital currency, a CBDC, issued to the general public would outweigh any potential benefits. He also expressed concerns that a public CBDC could disrupt the existing financial system. Thomas Jordan said retail CBDC could fundamentally alter the current monetary system and the role of central banks and commercial banks, with far-reaching consequences for the financial system. Of course, it would disrupt the current financial system. That is the entire purpose. We know that. Jordan made the statement during a banking conference in Zurich. He said that both consumers and businesses have access to a wide variety of payment options already, and he certainly does not see a need for a retail CBDC. I will remind you that a retail CBDC is what you and I would use, while a wholesale CBDC is used for large commercial settlements. We can clearly see that there is an ongoing debate on whether or not a retail CBDC is needed. I think it's definitely good news to see a European Central Bank go sort of against the WEF agenda. Thomas Jordan did say that he believes that a wholesale CBDC would be useful, however, because it would facilitate efficient settlement of tokenized assets. I know that some people would say that, well, if they roll out one, then of course it would just be a matter of time until they roll out the other. And of course, there is always a possibility of that, but commercial payments already do have a variety of options that are not available for consumers. So this could become potentially one of them. Jordan said that if Switzerland does decide to issue a wholesale CBDC, it has yet to figure out whether digital Swiss franc would be held overnight, how interest rates would be handled, and how the entire process would be managed. Swiss National Bank successfully completed its full-scale wholesale CBDC pilot program, by the way. That was done last year in 2023, where 4 bond issuances were settled using the digital Swiss franc. Based on that pilot program that was successful, Swiss National Bank would issue a CBDC on a blockchain, which would enable it to settle transactions with tokenized assets using wholesale digital currency. So while Jordan appears to reject a retail version, he's fully supportive of a wholesale CBDC. For consumers, this will likely, and I'm saying likely, have no implications as long as their private and personal data and access to their funds are not impacted in any sort of way. It appears that the Central Bank of Switzerland has ruled out using a retail CBDC, at least for now. However, it is moving forward with wholesale CBDC. And I would say that it's certainly not bad news, it is not terrible news, but it is fair to remain skeptical, I think. Let me know what you think about this in the comments below. Once assets are tokenized and wholesale CBDC is part of normal day-to-day banking system, there is really no telling how soon a retail version may be rolled out under the right circumstances. And I think that is the key. Under the right circumstances. What might be the right circumstances, you would ask, right? Well, European Central Bank and Christine Lagarde, they're already making plans. They're planning for those circumstances. And the ECB says that a very helpful feature of a digital euro, or any CBDC for that matter, might be disaster relief. You heard that right. Disaster relief, such as flood, natural wildfire, or earthquakes. This, of course, would come in handy as we seem to be experiencing more and more natural phenomena, natural disasters lately. Here's a really good clip that I came across and would like to share with you. Take a look and please consider following this lady for more updates.
Breaking news! The ECB is adding a pioneering, unique feature to its Euro CBDC design. Not only will it function offline, but also underwater. The European Environmental Agency has reported that over 2 million Europeans are affected by river floods, and it costs 10 billion euros annually to deal with these river floods. This is the 13th unique feature of the CBDC that makes it really special and needed right now, adding to the 12 features that Keir Finlobates has just published. Stay tuned. We are heading to 17 features that the Euro CBDC design will have.
I would say that it is definitely unusual to see a bit of a disconnect between the ECB, the European Central Bank, and one of the leading European central banks, Swiss National Bank. It might just be that Thomas Jordan personally feels that a retail CBDC would bring more harm than good, which of course it would, we know that. It would be interesting to see whether other European central banks become more vocal against the issuance of a retail digital currency. But even if they do, I think we need to keep in mind that while these individual national central banks may choose not to issue a retail version, the European Central Bank is absolutely moving forward with the digital euro. So I would argue that it is just a matter of time until more and more central banks are put in a position where they don't really have an alternative and eventually agree to launch both retail and wholesale CBDC versions. Let me know what your take on this is. I would love to hear from you. As always, thanks for taking the time to join me. Thanks for watching. Give this video a thumbs up, consider sharing it, and subscribe on Rumble and on YouTube. You will find my social links in the description below. I would love to have you back for my next one tomorrow. Enjoy the rest of your day. Bye for now.